Well, hello. Welcome. I'm Headley, another fat bearded man talking about records, but most of you will probably know that. Thank you for joining me. It's been a while since I've done a vinyl finds video on my own. I've done some with collaborations with John, the 6-inch pianist, 319. And I've also been doing videos showing my ridiculous amount of country rock records that I have, which is still ongoing. So if you've tuned in to hope to see some country rock, I'm afraid there won't be any, but I will be doing one of those very soon. Anyway, I checked things out. It's actually been 7 months since I've done a solo. I've flown solo on a vinyl finds video. And if I was an egotistical kind of person, I would apologize profusely that I hadn't done this for you, because clearly your life revolves entirely around my videos. So I am terribly sorry I haven't done one. Right, okay, so I'm going to try and do this quick. But I've already started to ramble. So anyway, okay, so these are stuff I've picked up as recently as this week and as for maybe 7 months ago. So just some interesting stuff that I thought I would show you. Okay, that was a bit odd, sorry. Okay, first up is this. This is Tim Burgess. I Love the New Sky. This is from 2020. Some of you might know Tim Burgess. He is the lead singer of the Manchester indie rock group, The Charlatans. There you go. They are Charlatans. I don't have any on vinyl. Anyway, so this is his 5th solo album. Previous albums, he's sort of he did one that was sort of Graham Parsons influenced. He went to America and recorded there. This is a far more British sounding record. It's a kind of an indie pop or chamber pop record. I'd heard this online and I'd listened to it for a while, and then it was one of those records that I just thought, do you know, I think I really like that. I'd love to have a copy. Not so interesting gatefold, but it's produced by a guy called Daniel O'Sullivan, and he really brings something to this. It's interesting production. O'Sullivan does his own stuff, but I have to say that the songwriting that Tim Burgess brings to this is great. It's not run of the mill. He takes the road less travelled when it comes to lyrics and sort of structure of his songs, and so equally so does O'Sullivan's production and arrangements. Very, very sort of, you know, it's got electric, it's got acoustic, but it's also got things like electronic flourishes of sort of Moog and things like that. But this is an incredibly hopeful album. It's a very uplifting record, and I think that's why I like it. At these times, I think we need something like that. That's exactly what Tim Burgess is doing with this. I mean, the first track on here is called Empathy for the Devil. There you go.
Angels say bye, good girls with them tonight. Get deep behind me, dive right and finds me. Woo! Resist the temptation, you took me to the mountain, but I stood my ground and sun came up calling. Empathy for the devil. Excuse me. Is that jealousy? What you wanna meddle? Empathy for the devil. Empathy for the devil. Empathy.
Right, so yeah, Tim Burgess, that's the first one. Okay, second up, I got this a couple of weeks ago. This is Max Richter, the new Four Seasons, Vivaldi Recomposed. This is on the Deutsche Grammophon. Now, he originally recorded and released his his recomposed version of Vivaldi's Four Seasons in 2012, I believe. But this new version is with a group called the Shinake. I knew I was gonna butcher these names. Shinake Orchestra, which is an orchestra that was established to give up and coming black and equal ethnically diverse musicians an opportunity. And from what I've read about this compared to the original recording, this is far more vibrant. And the solo violin is by someone called Elena Uriste. No, I'll write it or something. I did try and find out how you pronounce it, but yeah, it's a great sounding thing. It's a kind of a mixture of obviously Vivaldi remixed and with Max Richter's sort of modernist neoclassical style. It reminds me actually of listening to some of Michael Nyman's soundtrack stuff to the Draftsman's Contract, Drowning by Numbers, Z2 Noughts, where he does that similar mixing of the Baroque sort of sounds and music with a more modernist approach. But yeah, this is another one of those rather annoying gatefolds that has no purpose to be a gatefold apart from to take up far more space on my shelves. But really lovely, really nice. If you're not into classical music, give it a go, because it's got a real sort of vibrancy to it and it sounds great. So that's Max Richter. Okay, next up, this is Bird Early. I picked this up cheap on Amazon. And this is called Mind and Mother. This is from 4000. It's from the future. It's from 4004. No, 2004, believe it or not, this is from. Bird Early, this was his third and last album as that. He did rename himself as Et Ret or something like that. And I don't know what he's doing these days, but so... but this is kind of indie singer-songwriter kind of stuff. It's not a huge distance from Songs Ahoy, Jason Molina, or even Will Oldham, Bonnie Prince Billy, you might know him as, or Palace Music. Very similar, it's in the same wheelhouse, most definitely. And it sounds lovely. It's kind of that slow, plodding, almost like slowcore folk indie. The lyrics are kind of not impenetrable, but they're the sorts of lyrics that you kind of want to sit down with and sort of try to get through and work out what's going on. Not obvious, but then equally not too obtuse. But yeah, sounds lovely. Bird Early. That's Mind and Mother from 4002. No, from 2004.
We'll walk these lines, these streets another time. Warm blood washing at the shore, where eyes meet the world. The breeze blows away our movement in time. See the life of this play of mine. It's further we've gone, with more distance.
This is 77, 78. Jellies. The album is called Jellies, and the band is 77, 78. Not the most catchy of band names. This is from 2018. It's on Heavenly Records. I always what was it? Saint Etienne and Beth Orton. I always think of as Heavenly. Well, Beth Orton is Heavenly. And this is indie pop. It's kind of light 60s psychedelia. It's two guys called Aaron Fletcher and Tim Parkin. And they were in this band. They were in the Bees, if anyone knows the Bees. That's not the American Bees. This is the Bees from the Isle of Wight, I believe. Yeah, really nice sort of, almost like, I suppose, elements of that sort of Smiley Smile era, Beach Boys, that sort of stuff. It also wouldn't sound out of place on the Elephant Six kind of label. Just fun sounding indie pop, not power pop, but kind of slightly lightly psychedelic, slightly delic. Okay. So yes, that's the 77, 78 Jellies from 2018.
Closer than bone to the shrine. You skip the sky until the end of the end. Magic fields, many few merry men. I walk the sound until the dawn come again. And if I'm anything to you, I'm the man in the sky. And if I'm looking up to you, you're the stars in the night. And if I'm anything to you, I'm the man in the sky. And if I'm looking up to you, you're the stars in the night.
Okay, this is one I got this week. This was very cheap from Amazon. This is an artist called Janina Angel Bath. And she's from Oakland, California, I understand. Kind of a folk magician or high priestess of sonic music. No, was it the high priestess of sonic high priestess? Yeah, I've heard her called. This is an interesting kind of mix of droney folk with sort of Indian raga in there. She apparently learnt how to, or was trained in playing the Native American flute, but also in North Indian vocal techniques. And I think she studied under Terry Riley and various other people. And yeah, it's sort of like a transcendentally trippy. It's I got a quote because there's no way I can sort of give you any sort of sense of what this sounds like. But I thought this was the most pretentious thing I've ever heard, so I thought I'd read it out. It says, "This is the music of now, potent magic of unspecific era and dimension. The love child of Eastern-tinged folk raga roots, meeting the lysergic depths of psychedelic free jazz, only to arrive at its own unique voice, as iconoclastic as it is immersed in tradition, spontaneous as it is rehearsed, ephemeral as it is eternal." Yeah. And as wanky as... No, it's not. It sounds lovely. It's very sort of trippy. It's the sort of stuff that a number of years ago, I'm sure I could have sat down and smoked a great big doobie while listening to this. But yeah, it's an interesting record. It's a double album, but it's a double album that actually you get one 12-inch record and this is the annoying thing, it doesn't have an opening at this side. So if you want to get the other record out, you have to get your arm in it and pull it out, and that's a 10-inch. The first one is the first side, or at least the first record, is a kind of a. It's got a nice sort of. But that is very sort of. It's got the mixture of tabla and sitar and the American Indian flute, and it's really nice. It's a very nice, like I said, sort of transcendentally trippy album. That's Janina Angel Bath, and that's Gypsy Woman from 2009. Yeah, trippy stuff, man. Apparently she gives tarot readings if you fancy one.
Carry out your
Okay, last one up. This was a re-release I picked up towards the end of last year, and this is the first debut album from Nashville's collective Lambchop. This is I Hope You're Sitting Down, originally from 1994. I understand it's also known as Jack's Tulips, and I've never seen that. It doesn't say it anywhere on there. I just wonder if it's got anything to do with this dog's... Yeah, anyway. Let's cover that up. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with Lambchop, they are a kind of an Americana group. Like I said, a collective. Kurt Wagner. No, it'll be Wagner. It's not Wagner. Kurt Wagner, who is kind of like the brainchild behind it. And through all its iterations, he's always there. At the moment, they're going in a sort of a soulful... he does sort of auto-tune on his voice these days, and there's sort of electronic now, so he's really sort of going into different areas. But this back there, it's a sort of a twisted version of the Nashville sound country stuff. It's got but it's got, you know, it's got saxophones, it's got kind of everything. It's a bit of the kitchen sink, and it's a lovely record. It's 70 minutes. It's a double album. Oh, more rudies. Oh dear, this is terrible. It's going to get me banned. So yeah, I was really happy to get hold of this because it is great. It's 70 minutes. It's perhaps a bit long. It doesn't quite hold together for that. You know, they probably get their biggest breakthrough in 2000 with their album Nixon, which kind of distills what they were trying to do much better than this does. But you know, he's got this really lovely kind of spoken voice that for some people they might find quite grating, but it's quite relaxing to listen to. And the lyrics are often quite dark but humorous. I mean, there's a song called, is it Soaky and the Pooper, which is all about somebody's committing suicide in a bathroom. Cheery stuff. Yeah, really glad to get hold of that. I'd love to get some more of their albums on vinyl. Yes, great record from well, no, not a great record. It's just, it shows promise and it's got great moments. So that's Lambchop's I Hope You're Sitting Down, or Jack's Tulips. Don't look.
This doesn't happen all the time. So you cuss me and you hate me, and you're an 04 I can figure out no. Put your lips this close to mine, and then you shut up, and I shut up. Oh, and I shut up, it'll work out fine.
Right, okay, there you go. I don't know how long it is. I tried to do it quickly. I will be back with some more. Do you know what? I think I'm going to come back with a vinyl finds, but with secondhand stuff that I've bought. So, and there'll also be some more country rock inevitably in the future as well. So until then, bye-bye for now.